Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Derek Campbell, here on another episode of DC with the Call. And today we'll be looking at the Kansas City Chiefs schedule that has been released for the 22 season. Then look at how the weekend went for the Royals and Monday also, which was a makeup day for them. And how this shapes the month of May for them. We'll also be taking a look about Saturday's UFC 274. Then at the end of the episode, stay tuned for the call that I will be giving. To start the episode off, I'll give a quick rundown of the 2022 schedule for the Chiefs and what some of the matchups mean for the year. The Chiefs this year will be taking on the divisions of the AFC South and the NFC West, but now taking a deeper dive in this coming season schedule, the Chiefs start off facing the Los Angeles Chargers, which will be a huge game here for the Chiefs since both games last year came down to the wire between the Chargers and the Chiefs. So that'll be a great matchup there, starting the season off for both teams. And that's going to be a Thursday night game, September 15th on a Thursday at 8 o'clock. And then the Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, the Colts, the Broncos again, the Raiders, Jacksonville, Jaguars, Tennessee Titans, the Los Angeles Rams, a rematch there that get for Kansas City. And they ended up taking the loss a couple of years ago against the Rams on Thanksgiving night, I'm pretty sure, is when they faced off. So that'll be a good rematch to see Matt Stafford against Patrick Mahomes. Potential good game there. And then Seattle Seahawks, Raiders again, then Chargers, San Francisco 49ers, followed up again by the Cincinnati Bengals, which will probably be another down-to-the-wire game that we will see between the Bengals and Chiefs. Two high-powered offenses going at it again later on in the season happening. And then again, Buffalo Bills this time in the regular season. And then to round it all out, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Probably will be the last time that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes face off. But I will not say never, because who knows with Tom Brady if he's going to continue to play or not. But that's kind of the rundown of the schedule here. I'd give this, for difficulty, probably an A for schedule-wise, since all the teams in the AFC West have revamped their rosters, with the Broncos getting Russell Wilson, Raiders picking up Devontae Adams, and then the Chargers pretty much retaining what they had from last year. And so the division will be a lot tougher this year. Divisional games will be. So excited for those matchups potentially. Broncos still probably not going to win a game because it's just the Broncos. And then I'm hoping with the Raiders, continue up that win streak against them. But we'll see with Devontae Adams on the team for the Raiders now. Tough one there. And then I like that the Chiefs are going to be taking on the AFC South this year. We're looking at some different teams, so that's good. And then what I'm really excited for this year is the NFC West division that the Chiefs are taking on with the Rams, 49ers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I like that division they'll be taking on, and that level of competition with the Arizona Cardinals too. So definitely a grade-wise for this schedule, giving it an A for difficulty potentially. We'll see, though, how the regular season goes. Kind of the early estimates here, I think the Chiefs go with another 12-win season is what I'm going to go with, another 12-win season here for the Chiefs. Even though it is a difficult schedule, I think the Chiefs have done their diligence in hopefully matching their roster against other rosters. And like I said, there's going to be the easy win teams like the Jaguars and Houston sprinkled in there, and the Seattle Seahawks, who are also rebuilding with the Jaguars and the Texans. So those are 3 games will be pretty much cake probably for the Chiefs. But some the matchups that I'm most excited for seeing is a rematch against the Bengals, 49ers, and Rams. All teams here that the Chiefs have had close games with, and the rosters on both sides are phenomenal. So excited for that coming here into the 22 season, and everybody's maintaining too. So we'll see how this plays out for the Chiefs. Definitely excited for it. I think definitely could pull off a 12-win season and win the division again. I don't know about a first-round bye this year again for the conference for the Chiefs, with everybody getting so much better in the offseason this past year. So that will be a lot tougher, but I think the Chiefs can still win the division or potentially get a wild card. So I don't know about a first round bye again, unless if they sneak it in somehow. All right. That kind of rounds out the 2022 schedule here for the Chiefs. And like I said, most excited for the 49ers, Rams, and Bengals games, and potentially the Buccaneers, since it probably will be the last time Mahomes and Brady face off. Kind of now moving on to how the Royals have done this past weekend. Royals took on the now 11-17 Baltimore Orioles this past weekend. Friday and Saturday's games were postponed due to the weather, but then they decided to make Sundays a doubleheader, and then yesterday was a makeup day for the Royals, and ended up losing the series here with the Baltimore Orioles. Ended up getting the first win on Sunday, 6-4, improving it to 9-15, and then ended up taking the loss 4-2 Sunday on the second doubleheader, and then Monday I ended up taking the 6-1 loss. So right now the Royals are 9-17, sitting pretty, I'd say probably, and second to last, I think, I'm pretty sure here. Let's take a look at the standings now. I think they're second to last. Yep, they're second to last right now. 9-17, sitting in fourth place in the Central Division in the American League side. Tigers in last at 9-20. And kind of what this is shaping out to be here for the Royals is probably another potentially bad May for them. Royals historically have never been good in May, and I was hoping facing off against Baltimore might turn things around for them. But like I said, with the young pitching still getting figured out, and the offense is definitely lacking when it needs to be better for the Royals. It's just not doing anything for them. So maybe we might be seeing some roster changes here for the Royals potentially. It's just hard to see because best batter now for the Royals is Andrew Benintendi batting .330, and then Salvador Perez also has 5 home runs. So our best hitter right now is Benintendi, which is okay. We're hoping to see Merrifield get back up there, potentially Bobby Witt too, our best prospect on the roster right now. And then defensive side of things, I think we're pretty set there on defense. It's just the way this past weekend went for the Royals is a little disappointing because it looks like it's going to set a precedent for the month of May where we might win a game here but still end up losing the series, which is not what we want to see as Royals fans. For the month of May, we want to hopefully see them get better. But like I said, May is historically a bad month for the Royals. I'm hoping this is the year they turn it around and get back to 500 in the month of May, which would be great to see and keep them for the wild card spot later on in the season for the playoff push. And that's what I'm hoping for. The Royals might just be good enough for a wild card this year since they did expand the playoffs here for baseball. But like I said, for me, just another disappointing weekend as a fan. But see some good things with Benintendi and Salvi still crushing home runs and behind the plate and stuff. But Alberto Mondesi, disappointment again, getting injured. Just an injury-prone player, in my opinion. And I think the Royals should just, take their loss on him and hope maybe get something out of him in a trade closer to the trade deadline, and if he looks to come back. But I think he's out for the rest of the year. So I think the Royals need to move on from him this year or in the off season for me potentially. And that's kind of like the outlook here for the month of May. And we'll come back to the Royals again next episode and maybe kind of analyze those games that have happened too. But now moving on to UFC 274, where Charles Oliveira ended up getting the win still after losing the belt due to not making weight. So that is impressive, but he ended up losing the belt and failing to make weight. So he ended up getting stripped of the lightweight championship, but ended up still winning. So that is impressive. Let's see what his record is here. I think so. Charles's Oliveira's record is 38-2. I mean, sorry, 32-8 is Oliveira's record, and ended up still getting the win, so that's good. But ended up losing the championship belt, so we'll probably see a championship match for the lightweight division here in the next coming weeks at the next event. And I didn't end up watching the fight, which is I was trying to, but never got to it. So ended up watching recaps with Oliveira getting the win, and he still moves up to the top potentially to have a chance of reclaiming his belt in another championship bout. But also some other news going on in UFC. Cormier looks to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for UFC, and he's a two-weight champion. Daniel Cormier is to be inducted into UFC's Hall of Fame this summer, so he's probably one of the best heavyweight fighters in the UFC, and so that's great news for him that he's being inducted into the Hall of Fame there for him. So good for Cormier being inducted, stepping stone in the UFC in the right direction. I mean, it has been incoming analysis now for them, so that is great to see and excited about that. And if any more other exciting UFC news comes about, definitely be talking here on DC of the Call. Trying to get into it to get a little bit more inside depth potentially later on in other episodes. So definitely expect some more analysis from this because I am a big fan of UFC turning into it. And here on now, what we've all been waiting for is DC with the Call. And if we remember right, last week I made one of the Padres winning and there being 7 or more runs in the game. Well, I went 1 for 1. I was right on the runs, in a total of 8 runs being scored, all for the Marlins. So the Miami Marlins ended up getting the win instead of the Padres. So I ended up splitting that call, which hurts. It hurts being 500, but hopefully on this call coming up, I'll be above 500. And the call that I'll be making here, it has to do with we're switching over to NBA this week since a couple of series are potentially might be wrapping up this weekend. So I'm going to make one here, and I'm going to go with the Milwaukee and Boston Celtics series. And I'm thinking Miami wins the series, and the other part going to this is they're going to win it 4-2. They're going to win it in 6 games. So Milwaukee's going to win the series, and they're going to win the series over the next 2 games is the call that I'm making here. And I'm going to stick with it. I feel like Milwaukee's just got the size advantage over the Celtics, and I think they can do it in 6 games and end up taking it 4-2. And that's the call here with DC. And that's going to wrap up this week's episode. So make sure to subscribe to Red Top Video Productions channel on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and also give this a like. And much appreciated. Also leave a comment for interactions too. I'll be looking at those potentially too. So make sure you guys give a like. I'm glad you guys decided to listen to it and greatly appreciate it. But that's going to wrap up this week's DC of the Call. Again, I'm Derek Campbell, and thanks for tuning in.